Coming up on the Lakeside Loop, Bella Alvarez shares her passion for working with wild mustangs. Lakeside holds its first Pastor's Day of the year.
And our new segment, Teacher Time, with Jaden Thundercloud. The Loop starts now. Welcome to the Lakeside Loop. I'm Logan Wenzel.
And I'm Jonah Osmankowski. Thanks for joining us. Several times throughout the school year, Lakeside invites pastors from all across the Federation to catch up with the students in their congregations. Pastor's Day has been held since the late 90s, so it has become a Lakeside tradition. After breakfast in chapel, the pastors meet with students from their congregations to talk about what is going on in their churches.
I like coming to Pastor's Day so that I can connect with my past students, which I've had in confirmation class, and just see where they're going and see how they're doing, as well as just being able to see them in their element and how I can better help them as their pastor.
The next Pastor's Day is slated to be held on November 18th. Thank you to all the pastors that attended. Pastor's Day also gives the pastors and students a chance to become more comfortable with each other. Another bonus for the students is the snacks that they bring for everyone to enjoy. Lakeside students have a variety of passions and interests. This week we bring you the story of Bella Alvarez, who tames wild mustangs so that they can be ridden.
I work with wild mustangs. I get them from the BLM, Bureau of Land Management. The government manages them on several different areas throughout different states. They round them up, and I have done too. I get them from the wild. They've never been touched or handled, and I work with them and so that they can start to ride and find a good home. So they went to a competition and got to compete after 100 days from being out of the wild. We took them to a competition, and one got 5th and the other got 4th. So these are Mustang tags. They are worn by every wild Mustang by the BLM. They have numbers. Each Mustang is going to have a freeze brand on the left side of their neck. It's like a social security number. It's going to start with a U, standing captured in the United States, and then they have a social security number following that. One of my favorite parts of gentling Mustangs is probably watching their transformation. Ari started very aggressive. She would lash out at people, like I said, and she was just so untrusting. It was almost sad to see because she was so scared of everything, just because she was captured when she was so young. And then I got her when she was 2, and she formed a bond with me, and now she's the sweetest thing ever. She knows a few tricks. She can bow. I can stand on her. She can pull a cart. She rides amazing. And then Harmony also knows a few tricks. She was pretty easy to start, pretty okay with people because she's been around people her whole life. They just never touched her. She didn't like handling her feet. That was one thing that she struggled with, but Harmony rides really, really well. But Harmony can grab a thing of scarves and pull them out of a bucket like she's performing a magic trick. She can smile, and that's about it for her tricks. But she rides really well. I can ride her without tack on, so bridleless, just with a rope on her neck. She does a lot of pretty cool stuff. So watching their transformation is amazing. I've had little kids lead her around, and sweet as can be, wouldn't hurt you for anything.
Thanks to Bella for sharing her unique passion. God's blessings.
Lakeside student Tyler Griffin has taken wakeboarding to a new level. Tyler has competed in many competitions. Jack Dupre has the story.
I first started wakeboarding about 2 years ago. I saw a guy wakeboarding on my lake, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I asked him to give me a lesson, and I was hooked from there. The best thing about wakeboarding is that it's all on you for the sport. It's just a one-man sport. It's not up to anyone else, so you control how you ride. It's kind of a mental game more than a physical game, so you just need to get the tricks through your head and just go for them. Just kind of send it. I first started doing competitions my second year of wakeboarding, so last summer I started. And for the first one, it was in Fort Fremont, so upper Wisconsin. It went super well. I got first place out of 6 people.
Cheers!
My favorite trick is to perform a 540, which is a 360 plus a 180, and maybe add a little grab in there to kind of spice up a little bit. Yeah, so the worst wipeout I've had was I was doing a toe side 360, which is you're coming in on your toes instead of your heels to the wake. And I went for it, I did a 180, and then I didn't really commit, and then I just was kind of stuck. I then went back to 90 degrees, and I don't know why, I just stuck there, and then face plant going 22.5 miles an hour. It kind of rattles your head a little bit. So one of my goals is probably to go down to Florida or to Texas and to compete in some junior pro tournaments there and place high, get noticed, maybe get sponsored by some high sponsors. That's one of the primary goals that we're going for here.
Thanks, Tyler, for sharing. If you have a unique interest or hobby, the Loop would love to hear from you. Talk to Mr. Hackbarth. We would love to share your story. Hey grade schoolers, passports are back. These passports allow grade school students to get into any Lakeside home game for free. If you didn't already get one from your teacher, you can ask for one at any Lakeside home game. For every 4 stamps you get, you win a t-shirt and are entered in a drawing for bigger prizes like tuition vouchers, backpacks, sweatshirts, and more. We hope to see you at some games. Each week, the Loop is going to highlight one teacher in our new segment called Teacher Time.
Teacher time, teacher time, teacher time with Jaden Thundercloud.
Hello, I'm Jaden Thundercloud, and I think the teachers here at Lakeside are absolutely fantastic. From Mr. Tracy to Mr. Austin, Lakeside's faculty has so many interesting characters that if you just take the chance to get to know some of them, you'll soon learn to love them. So, we decided to weekly ask students of Lakeside for their questions for our favorite teachers, and then go to those teachers for the answers. And where better to start than with the talk of the town, the prettiest girl at the ball, the new and improved Daddy Dorn.
So what do you want to know, Jaden?
Where did you teach before you came to Lakeside?
Well, I've taught in 3 other schools. So I started out at Good Shepherd in West Bend, taught 7th grade, and then 5th grade in Salem Lutheran in Stillwater, Minnesota, and then Illinois Lutheran High School and junior high. So I taught 7th, 9th, and 10th grade there.
What's your middle name?
My middle name is Michael.
What is the closest you have been to death?
Closest I've come to death. I don't know if I've ever really been that close, but I've had a few bicycle accidents that scared me a little bit.
Right from best to worst, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Dr. Pepper.
Rank them, huh? Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Coke.
Mr. Dorn, what's the story behind the bracelet that you always wear?
That bracelet I'm always wearing? Well, that was made by my granddaughter. Yeah, so Leah. So I try to, it's a good remembrance of something I love a lot.
What are some nicknames that students have had for you in the past?
I haven't heard too many at school. I've heard that, well, one boy said, "Can I call you Grandpa?" because of Leah. I'm like, maybe not. Mr. Denoyer had said that some kids are calling me Daddy Dorn, but it's usually Mr. Dorn.
Mr. Dorn, who is your favorite child?
Well, I have 5 to choose from, and of course I'm not going to tell you anything. But if you ask my kids that question, they would probably all say Eli, our youngest son.
Was the Mr. Eric Dorn a troublemaker when he was younger?
He had his moments. But overall, you know, he did good. He did good. So no dirt for you.
Is it weird having the exact same voice as your son?
Up until this year, I didn't really know we did. So it's probably more weird for you guys than it is for me.
Mr. Dorn, do you approve of the other Mr. Dorn's new girlfriend?
Sophie's awesome. We love her. She fits right in with the family, and she's great. Oh, definitely approve.
Who is the better teacher, you or your son?
Well, we teach different subjects, so I think teaching is a lot about personality and building relationships. So we both, I think, have that gift, and So I think we'll call it a tie.
What's your favorite music video parody that you've made?
So we had some friends that left town, the Ullenbrucks, and we wrote one to the tune of a Greatest Showman song, and we named it Come Back Home. So the other Mr. Dorn was my videographer, so that's probably my favorite one.
Mr. Dorn, what emotion does this image make you feel?
I hope that never happens. Well, I guess it makes me laugh.
Is there a planned Dorn takeover at Lakeside?
We do have a Dorn takeover plan, but not necessarily at Lakeside. We want to open up our own school in Hawaii, so we're heading there.
All right, that should do it.
All right, thanks. Nice talking to you.
If you have a question for any of our teachers, contact Mr. Hackbarth or any of the Lakeside Loop staff.
And now, you're in the loop. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jonah Osmankowski.
And I'm Logan Wenzel. We'll see you next week.